everybody, it's Emma and welcome to Vlogmas Day 11. Tonight, I'm going to be doing a little bit of reflecting on 2024 because if you're watching this today that's been posted, it is the last day of 2024. But this one might be a little bit shorter, it might be a little more informal. I just kind of wanted to do general reflecting, like I'm just talking to you about my year because I feel like it was a good year overall, but it was a particularly big year for me. So I wanted to kind of just look back and see what we could talk about. Please take this opportunity if you want to reflect on your year as well. I don't usually do this formally every year, but I will write something down to kind of think back and look forward at the same time. So journaling is great, just writing it in your notes app is great if you want to do it with me, but this is just kind of gonna be stream of consciousness. I do have a few notes on my computer down here of things I want to touch on, but most of it's coming from the top of my head. And by no means is this reflection going to be all-encompassing because I feel like no matter how hard I try, I never say everything I want to in a video. I'm going to be going through things as they come to my mind. So overall feelings about 2024 is I think it was a really great year. You know, it was a pretty big year for me as far as milestones go. And I'm pretty proud of myself for everything I was able to achieve and balance and work through. You know, not everything was perfect, but at the same time, that's not what it's supposed to be. So I think everything worked out the way it is supposed to be, and I'm very grateful. Okay, so I wanted to go through my goals for 2024 that I set last January, and I have them on a notes app somewhere. Hang on. I made very loose goals for 2024 because I knew that I was going to be so busy with those milestone things, like graduating and starting college, for example. I didn't want to expect too much of myself and then fall short just purely because I didn't have the time or energy to do anything super dramatic as far as resolutions go. But I did set a couple of small goals that I thought were within my reach to achieve with the time and energy I expected to have, but also were going to take some work. I watched a video I remember last December that said that you should write your resolutions as statements like you're already doing them. I don't know if it worked, but that's what I did here. So my first goal is pretty simple. I wanted to make my mental and physical health a priority. I was going to do that anyway, but also part of my goal setting strategy is to sometimes set goals that I know I'm going to achieve anyway to make sure that I'm keeping the same things a priority over time. And even if I was already doing this, I was already making my mental and physical health a priority, I wanted to make sure I was doing it again. And I've gotten to the point where I don't think I need to make that another goal. But I will say that I do feel like I've achieved it in 2024. I'm obviously not perfect, but I do remember times when I would intentionally rearrange my schedule or stop doing things or start doing things to work around how I was feeling mentally and physically. Although, like I said, I still have work to do, I think that I made a lot of progress in this area. I've also continued to do things like exercise in new ways, but in also ways that I know work for me. Go to therapy, try to talk about things more, all of those kinds of things, as well as just listening to my mind and my body. That has helped me fulfill this goal. This was a big one. My third one I wrote, I wanted to become more independent in 2024, which I feel like I have 100% accomplished. This was kind of vague for a reason because I didn't really know how I was going to do it, but some examples that come to my mind in ways that I exercise this was learning how to drive by myself, because I've driven with my sister everywhere pretty much since I've gotten my license. And so this year I really had to focus on running errands by myself and going to appointments by myself if I can. Doesn't mean I don't still want support and to spend time with my family and friends. It's just that I knew that I needed to start working on doing things alone. So it could be something a little bit bigger like driving, but it could also be something a little bit smaller like trusting myself to make a decision. I'm always willing to ask for other people's opinions, but I also need to trust my own. Again, I think I did accomplish that. Oh, I did put in there, speaking of resolutions or goals that I knew I was going to hit anyway, I said I wanted to achieve the educational milestones of graduating high school and starting a new semester of college. So obviously I did that. You guys know that. Graduated in June, started at my college in September, so kind of crazy that those two things happened in the same year. But they did. The last one I'm going to share with you is I said I want to make my hobbies a priority in 2024, which I do believe that I did. I put this as another one that I wanted to do for 2025 because I had so much fun. The main one that I wanted to do was making videos, which I do think I did. Like, the biggest thing I think I did was trying my best to stick to a posting schedule. Obviously, this is a hobby, so it doesn't always work out, but I do my best. I've tried to make time for myself to read, listen to music, journal, like all of these things that I used to view as like extras, or I never put them in a category. I just kind of was like things that I do if I have time. Instead, in 2024, I wanted to make the time to do them, and I do feel like I did that. Especially this semester, I feel like I had a good balance of things that I have to do and things that I want to do. So I am very, very proud of that. So the next two topics that I put in here, I was gonna scroll through my 2024 vision board and I was gonna scroll through my photos, but I kind of want to save those things because, one, I feel like my vision board kind of got cluttered because I just make a board on Pinterest. I don't actually print out photos. And then if I really want to see it, sometimes I'll just pick photos I like from there and make it like an iPhone background. But I kind of feel like my board for 2024 got a little cluttered. Like I wasn't really thinking when I put things on there about the intention behind it. So I kind of just want to leave that alone. But if you are interested, I'm pretty sure I have my Pinterest linked on my YouTube channel, so you can always go in there and view it if you want. It's just called 2024. I think when I was making it earlier this year, I was more thinking of things I want to see versus things that align with my physically written out goals. And I'm gonna try and make that shift going into 2025. So it didn't really work like a vision board, which is fine on its own, but going into the next year, I want to put more intention behind it. So, and then scroll through my photos. I want to intentionally wait because every year at the end of the year, I will make a kind of recap of the year with all my photos, and I want to wait to go back through everything and do it then. That's honestly one of the things I look forward to every year. So I think over the next few prompts as I review things from the year, I'll put up photos in this video, but I'm not actually going to scroll. Like I said, this one's kind of more unorganized than my other videos, so I appreciate you guys just kind of going with it. My next topic is I wanted to think, again, just off the top of my head, about things that I'm proud of from this year. A lot of the times towards the end of December, I'll start to kind of just forget about everything that's happened, and like it'll kind of just feel like a blur, which is part of the reason why I love going back through my photos in the yearly recap. I wanted to take a minute to like actually intentionally think about a lot of the things that I am proud of and have accomplished. And I will say I have to keep it kind of vague because, again, a lot of the things that I think of include other people and personal details, but I can speak generally. Obviously, first off, graduating high school. I think when I first entered my senior year, I kind of was like, well, you know, everybody experiences this. This is not like super unique of an experience. I'm just gonna get through it like everybody else. But by the time I was walking in graduation, my feelings started to turn and I was like, no, I earned this degree. Like, this is so cool that I get to do this. And I was sad, right? Because I'm leaving all of these people and programs that have been a part of my life for so long. But at the same time, I was like, I felt like things were happening at the right time. And I was just very happy and very proud. And especially happy to be around like all my friends and family. Happy is just the only word that's coming to my mind. I think that whole time, May, June, was so emotionally charged that sometimes it's hard to think about. But at the same time, was one of the most exciting times of my life. So I'm really grateful for that. Also this year, I applied for a couple of different jobs within the educational programs I was in high school, but then also like actual jobs, which I'm very proud of. It takes a lot for me to just kind of throw myself out there like that. And so the fact that I did it multiple times and was successful a handful of times is very telling to me that I'm doing the right thing. Even if I am not always getting the result I want or I'm proud of the result, I'm proud that I tried. Another thing I did this year that was really fun is I made a lot of efforts to reconnect with a lot of my friends. Again, like, I'm not perfect, but I do remember a couple times, especially in the past few months, intentionally reaching out or texting or like just planning something to talk with them, because especially during senior year, I kind of fell off with keeping up with that stuff. And it's not like I wasn't seeing my friends, but it was not as often and as intentional as I wanted it to be. So I did my best to put forth more effort, especially in the past few months. And I feel like I achieved that goal of mine and got to reconnect with some of my friends, which was really fun. I lied. I'm actually scrolling through my photos right now because I was blanking on things that happened this year. But I just came across all my photos and videos from the Olivia Rodrigo concert. That I forget happens all the time. I listen to her album, Guts is my favorite, and I'll be like, I can't believe I was there. I can't believe she was in front of me. Like, that's crazy. So that was like an insane part of my year. And that's honestly one of my favorite videos I've ever made also. That's crazy. Another cool thing from this year, kind of somewhat related, I feel like it was such a good year for music. And because there were so many albums coming out and so many different songs and remixes and music videos, I feel like I really embraced my love for music, but pop music in particular. I used to kind of think that, like, kind of the same with graduation, where I was like, well, everybody likes pop music, so I'm not special. I should just, you know, listen to it and keep it to myself. But this year I was like, no, I'm gonna talk about this. This is so cool. And it's one of the things that I get kind of obsessed with. And of course I have my favorite artists, but I really embraced all of the people I like to listen to, and it was so fun. And I want to keep doing that. I don't know why I thought I couldn't do that before, but so many good albums. It's crazy. There were so many lasts this year that it's kind of weird to look back through my camera roll because like I was saying, it's such an emotionally charged time that I forget how intense everything was with graduation coming up. And I'm grateful for every single thing, but looking back through my photos, it's kind of hard because I look back at a picture and I'm like, oh, that was the last ex. That was the last time I saw this person. And like I was saying, it's just crazy that these two parts of my lives happened in the same year. Okay, something random I'm proud of, how long my hair has gotten. Again, looking back at photos from January, my hair was not necessarily short, but it was shorter. I never thought I was gonna have long hair, at least not for a while, but it's really fun. I mean, the last thing I'm gonna say I think is I'm really proud of myself overall this year for just putting myself out there. I just kept going and kept trying and doing things that I know I love, but also things that I've never done before. Yes, sometimes I embarrassed myself or didn't do things perfectly or wished I'd done something differently, but overall, I really just went for it, especially because it was a period of lasts and a period of firsts. I might as well do it. So, and I think that's something that I've struggled with before and still do sometimes. I don't know, I'm just very, very proud of myself and I want to continue doing that in the future. Okay, like I said, that's definitely not all encompassing, but I'm gonna leave it there. Next topic is things I want to do better on, which I don't know if I have much to say on this because I think that there are things that I want to continue to improve, like hanging out with my friends more, reaching out to them, focusing on my mental and physical health, putting myself out there, continuing to do things that make me happy regardless of what other people think. Those kinds of things that I want to continue to improve on. But there's nothing that I can really think of that I can pinpoint that I did badly or I failed at. Just things that I can continue to grow in. So I don't know if that really answers the question, but that's what I'm gonna say. To kind of summarize, I asked myself what my biggest takeaway from the year is, and I think I honestly figured it out by talking, and that's just to keep trying, to keep doing things, to keep putting myself out there, because it usually works out for the better, regardless of how I feel about the entire experience. I know that there's a saying that says something along the lines of, it's better to try and fail than regret never trying in the first place, or something like that. Because even failure is subjective. The things that I think I failed on, I really didn't. And even so, I'm glad I tried it all. So I really do stand by that, and I want to remember that moving forward. I know I've said that like 3 times now, but that really was my biggest takeaway of the year. And last but certainly not least, I want to go through my good things jar. This is really the whole point of this video. I've been looking forward to this since January. So I'm gonna just kind of go through it, and then I'll just talk about the ones that stand out to me the most. But these are kind of all piled in there, so I think I'm gonna do this again next year. This was so fun. Oh, they're stuck. Okay, I have no idea which one came first. Maybe next year I should write numbers on them to like know which one came first. Okay, I think this was actually the first one. December 31st through January 6th. Oh, this was for one of the jobs I applied for and got an interview for. Graduation photo. Oh, here it is. one of my Independence days. What's also funny about some of these is I'm opening them and I'm like, I didn't remember that. I forgot that happened. So this is fun. This is funny. Hope you can read that. It's the start of Salt, Air, and Rust on Your Door month, aka August. That's funny. Hey, it was a good thing. That's why I wrote it down. I think this one is the last of the year. I think this next week will be, or this current week will be, the start of the new jar. Okay, but halfway done. More to go. Again with the music. This is from when I decided what college I was gonna go to. That's crazy. I know I keep saying that, but it's so cool, but also really weird. This one says minimal drama. Hey, I'll take it. This is literally from graduation week. And I literally just made a bulleted list because there were so many things. This is so cool. Oh my gosh. Well, I started this video kind of dreading it because reflection can sometimes be hard. I am so glad I did this video, but also like this good things jar because there's just so many things that happened this year and so many things to be grateful for. So I will definitely be doing this again, and I highly encourage you to do it because that was probably the best 10 minutes I've spent all day. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. But like I said, this is definitely not all encompassing. There are so many things that happened this year. It was fun, and I'm glad that I went through with it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, but if you have any feedback or video ideas, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And while you're there, please consider answering the question of the day, which today is going to be, how do you like to prepare for the new year? This is one step for me, just generally reflecting and looking back, but I do that to look forward, which I'm going to be talking more about in the next video, so I'm not going to talk a lot about that. But I'd love to hear how you prepare for the next year, if at all. Any like rituals or habits that you like to do before or in the early new year, feel free to leave it in the comments below and we can talk about it. If you like this video and you want to see more, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you again so much for watching my video, and I hope to see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 12, the last day of 2024. Thanks, bye.